Welcome to Finding the Modern Man podcast. Join me, Peter Kiricosta, your health and performance expert and self-leadership coach, as myself and my guests discuss and uncover what it means to be a man in today's society, helping you optimize physical, mental, and emotional health in order to create a life with purpose and passion in the changing world that we live in. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Finding the Modern Man podcast. Today I'm very excited because I have my first guest on the show. As I promised you, I will have guests on that are coming from different backgrounds, different perspectives on life and what it is to be a man in today's society. Today I'm very stoked because I've got a dear friend of mine, Pastor Phil Smith.
Hey, Pete.
Phil, good to see you.
Yeah, you too, mate.
Thanks.
So good to be here.
Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate this. And I've had many of these kind of conversations with Phil over time. I've known him for some time. He's a dear friend and mentor of mine. And I really wanted to bring some of what I experience in my personal conversations with Phil to everyone. So it's a big deal for me. It's great to have him on. And first of all, Phil, could you give us a bit of a background on you? Who is Phil Smith? Where have you come from and where you are now?
Yeah, thanks, Pete. My name's Phil. I'm 56 years old of age. 56 years. Oh, we can't start again, mate, can we?
Nah, keep it going.
Okay,
Keep it going.
so I'm 56 years of age. I've been married since I was in my mid-20s. Got 5 children. Most of them are adults. My youngest is now in year 12, just about to graduate year 12. Got 1 grandchild. Been pastoring a church for 25 years. Not this church. Been pastoring for 25 years. Wow. Adventure of my life, mate. It's awesome.
Now, could you give us a bit of a background as well on how you came to be a pastor? What is it that drives you to do what you do, and what was your calling?
Oh, that's awesome. A really clear call from God, Pete. I had it's a weird story, but I was on holidays and I was cleaning out a 3x3 old tin garden shed, and I was cleaning it was literally full to the doors, and so I was on holidays and going, I really have to clean up this. I can't fit anything more in there, and I needed to fit more in there. And God just spoke to me just in the quietness of just cleaning up and down the backyard, and He just said, I want you to be a pastor.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I've followed that and done it ever since.
Now, that's something I find really fascinating with your story, because you're not the stereotype of what people are used to in the church scene. Not everyone fits into a stereotype in their industry. And this is one thing I love about you, is because you're such a regular bloke. You just talk like a regular dude. And one of the things I find in what you said, when you had that clear calling, do you find that's something over the years in your time working with men in your job that people have not paid attention to and not followed?
Yeah. Not everyone, but there's a lot who rather don't even know what their meaning and their purpose is. They don't even know their identity. They don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
And it's really sad, mate. Like, if you don't have a center, if you don't have that foundation of who you are and what your meaning is and what your purpose is, then you will float through life looking for something.
Yeah. Where do you find it goes? Like, men tend to go when they do lack that vision and that purpose.
They'll go, I think, it's a good question. They'll go for comfort.
Oh, yeah.
Or they'll go for escape.
Yeah.
Like, because of the everyday, there's no adventure in the everyday. So they look for escape. So they might go to porn. They might go to buying and selling. They just look for something that makes them feel good. But the problem is that stuff might make you feel good in the moment or, initially. Yeah. But it empties again, and you got to go and chase it again and chase it again.
That's a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I find that even in my own life, when I've lacked a bit of purpose, I tend to just become self-destructive.
Yeah.
And just chasing that dopamine, that next quick hit.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I find, I feel people mistaken momentary pleasure or joy for happiness.
Yes.
So it makes you happy in that little second.
Yeah.
and then you just fall apart afterwards.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're back on that.
Yeah.
And how have you found, I guess like in your line of work, you would see a lot of this over time. People that are looking for the answer, looking for a bit of guidance.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I love about my conversations with you is that you're not the type of person to just tell you what you should do. You take an example of something from scripture, something from life, or a book you've read, and then break it apart and make someone think about it.
Wow. Okay.
Have you found that that's a more beneficial way than just barking at people and dictating what people should do?
Oh, 100%, Pete. Because I think people need to make their own decisions. If you tell them, if you suggest to them or tell them what you think they should do, then the difficulty becomes that's your concept, that's your idea. But if you just ask questions and help them walk the path of discovering what they should do and discovering who they are, then they own that because they've done the discovery. You haven't told them, they've done the discovery. So questions are really, really powerful.
Yeah. How did you come about getting better at questions? Because you ask amazing questions at times. It's very succinct and to the point. And it's like, man, that's a skill.
I've never thought about it before, Pete. How to probably practice, like just because I spend a lot of time with people,
Yeah.
So you get to know like what questions to ask. You know, like you just read the person and you work out what questions to ask. Sometimes God speaks to me and will say, you know, you should ask this question.
Yeah.
And that's like they're really significant. Where you go, oh, that's usually a good turn in the conversation.
Yeah.
A good question will be a good turn in the conversation.
Have you come across many situations like that where you've actually paused and thought, no, I can't ask that?
Not where I can't and I don't.
Yeah.
But where I'll certainly be while we're having a conversation, you'll go, oh, that's a significant question. Like you feel the weight of, okay, we're doing a significant turn now.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Because I know I've found that at times when I've had that message, that intuitive message come to me that says, oh, just ask this with someone. And that sometimes there's a part of me going, yeah. No, too personal. Yeah. But I'm in a very different position to yourself as well. Do you find that people are more receptive as well, like with you being in the position you're in, like they've come to the church for guidance? Do you find they're a lot more receptive than, say, just me having a chat to someone, or when you're having a chat to someone in general?
Both, Pete. Sometimes people will be more receptive, and some people go, oh, you're a pastor and don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
It can be a conversation starter or a conversation stopper. And you read that one very quickly too. But it's good, you know. But that's okay. We all connect with different people, and that's okay.
Yeah. Over the years as well, because you've been in the industry for 25 years, you've been helping people and amongst the community. What are some of the common things you see in men that are struggling throughout that time, and what are some of the newer, more recent problems you've seen emerge?
Yeah. Oh man, that's a big question, Pete. What do I see in men over 25 years? I would see men who are trying to make life work. So they're pulling together the different things that they know or that they've seen, or like in their family of origin, what their parents did or didn't do. Yeah. What the guys they work with do, what they, a lot of people are starting to read self-help stuff, so they'll just be drawing at stuff, trying to work out how to make life work. And I think that still goes on. I mean, we're always trying to make life work and see what works, But some of the more recent stuff, Pete, is really coming down to, you can see the lack of meaning and identity and purpose. Yeah. Where that's, so maybe their parents did or didn't know who they were, so they just sort of slogged through. So they never asked those questions. So they never saw that my parents knew, or my family of origin, they know who they are.
Yeah.
So, they just, does that make sense? They just kind of,
Absolutely.
they don't even think to ask the questions of who they are.
That's a big thing, isn't it? Just that thought not to even ask, or that curiosity that may come in.
Yeah.
And it's better off to ask than just to let that thought go.
Yeah.
I find that's a huge thing. Ask. Even if it's saying, I have no idea about this.
Yeah.
Where do I start?
Yeah. That's
just
right.
admitting ignorance.
Yeah.
And most people are so willing to help.
Yeah.
And I find that's a huge thing, particularly with us men. A lot have been brought up to have to know, have to be right. You can't show any sign of weakness. Yeah. And admitting ignorance, I feel, needs to be reframed where it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a weakness. It's actually really good.
Yeah.
If you can admit, hey, I don't know. So what leader or influence resonates with you, go for that.
Yeah.
For some people, it's coming to the church. Other people, it's going to a coach like myself or whatever it is. Go and ask.
Yeah.
Go and ask. And one of the things that I'd love to get into and expand, because it made a big impact on me as well, is the author John Eldredge, because he brings together a number of those things you've just mentioned. Yeah. Earlier on, you mentioned that not having adventure.
Yeah.
And that's one of his principles.
Yeah.
And not knowing from the family of origin who you are, who they were.
Yeah.
And coming back, finding the way. So could you explain what those principles are? Because I'd love to unpack how we can actually interpret those and make them work in today's society as well.
Oh, yeah. So there's three, I think. There's three. There's the battle to fight, the adventure to live, and the beauty to rescue.
Yeah.
And so the battle to fight is like finding what's worth fighting for, and what you will fight for. What's the battle you have to face? And sometimes I think, Pete, for some of us, it's just going, I'm just not going to settle for mediocrity anymore. You know what I mean? Like my biggest battle today is to not drink the 10th can of Coke today. Like sometimes that's the battle but it's all for you. It's all to move you forward. It's all for you to become a better man.
Yeah.
To have discipline. So, we write these big lists and go, I want to, and I was talking to someone last week. I want to do, I want to do this every day of the week. And I went, well, slow down, Tiger. Like let's break that. Let's keep that as the goal.
Yeah.
What do you do now? And I do that maybe once a week.
Yeah.
All right, cool. What about if this week you do that twice this week? But I want to do it 5. Yeah, I know you want to do it 5, but why not? What if you just did it 2? And get that, and just do that incremental. James, who's the guy who wrote Atomic Habits?
James Clear.
James Clear, yeah. He talks a lot about that. Like break it down into smaller steps that you can do, and then increase those steps, and then over time you get there.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, it was really helpful for this person to just be able to go, listen, like what are you doing now? Like where do you want to be? Where are you now? And what's an incremental step that you can do?
Yeah.
Because then your confidence grows and you go, I can do this.
Yeah.
You're not hanging out on that, well, I did it once this week and I want to do it 5 times. You fail by the 3rd day and you go, I'm going to throw it away.
Yeah.
Or I'll leave it. The classic I think for men is I'll start next week, but geez, I'm going to crack it next week. Do you know what I mean? And you go, let's break it down into something really simple.
Yep.
You just go, all right, just to pick. So what other day can you do it?
Yeah.
Instead of just once. Like, just pick it.
Do you think that's one of the drawbacks of male nature as well? We've got that warrior spirit. We've got that divide and conquer, create, destroy. And sometimes we're just overly enthusiastic.
Yes.
And we just go too big straight away.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we've got to bring it back to that same thing. I think, where are we? And because we want to fix everything, don't we? So we see the problem. The problem is I got to do it 5 days, but I've only done it once. So we think we've got to jump to 5 because we want to fix it because it's a problem to be fixed. Whether you just go, hang on, whoa. Yeah. We will fix it one step at a time. Yeah. It's like that thing, that how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Do it's like that. Like just what's the next little bit you can do?
Yes. Yeah.
Like if you say, for example, this person, you want to do something 5 times,
Yeah.
but you're only doing it once. Well, if every week or every fortnight or every month, even just go every month,
Yeah.
you just added one more time. Within 6 months, you're doing exactly what you wanted to do.
Yes, and it's sustainable then too.
Yeah, and it's fully sustainable.
Yeah, it's you're not sabotaging yourself by going too hard.
Yeah,
and then crashing, because
Yeah.
I see that a lot, especially in
you'd
the
see
fitness
heat syndrome.
industry.
Yeah.
Oh, in the fitness industry, it's terrible because there is a conditioning within the industry that go hard or go home. You're not getting
Yeah.
results unless you're going hard. But elite athletes do just enough today to stimulate a response to improve, because they know they've got the rest of the week
Yeah,
that they have to train for,
That's
or another
awesome.
session that day.
Yeah,
So it's like those incremental changes add up over time.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah.
don't even see
Yeah.
until later on down the track.
yeah,
Most athletes are not even improving 1% a year. Some people say just that 1% a day. What if your entire progress, if you're that highly skilled and refined at something,
yeah,
that you're aiming for 1% a year?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Let's not discredit that effort, because it's still effort. It
Yeah.
takes discipline every day. And one thing that I found, and have you seen this as well, where the more you can get on top of yourself with little battles like that, the battle of your purpose in life
Yes.
can grow then as well, and you start to naturally increase what you want to give back to the world.
Yeah,
and
100%.
what you want to do.
Yeah, I think 100%, Pete. And it's the same, like we talk about or you were talking about the elite athlete. But what about the person at the other end of the scale who's got no discipline? And to increase by 1%, like your initial stage, you can increase by, but you go, there comes a point where they go, I'm stretched now. Like I just need to, cool. Slow down. Like again, just where are you at now? Where do you want to get to? What's the next little bit you can do?
Yeah.
Because if you've got no discipline, say with fitness or eating or whatever, if you've got no discipline,
Yeah.
well, any amount of discipline is better than what you had yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
And how many people do that? Like, you were talking about the fitness thing, like say, good examples like with food. I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to go on a diet, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
3 days in, you're having cravings, you got headaches because you're crashing,
Mm-hmm.
and you just want to binge. And then you go, oh, this doesn't work.
Yes. Yeah.
But you hit it too hard. Like,
And they restrict. People restrict
Yes.
way too much.
Yeah.
And you go, well, hold on. What's your vice? What's your go-to
Yes.
junk food or comfort food? Why don't we just start inching back on that?
Yes. Yeah.
Not even cutting it out completely.
Yeah.
Just looking at cutting it down.
Incremental again,
Incrementally.
Pete, isn't it? That's what you're saying.
Yeah. And work
Incremental.
on that one. And then, of course, there's all your attachment to food,
Yeah.
the relationship to it. But that also comes back to our relationship with ourselves. Why don't we?
Yeah,
have
yeah,
that
that's right.
voice?
Yeah.
What is our battle? I find for me, because I'm a little more of an aggressive personality at times. Like I've got that fight in me. That my battle is a part of my purpose.
Yes.
It's a reason to fight.
It usually is.
When I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've seen that with other people
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Usually your battle will line up with your adventure.
Ah.
Won't it? Like,
Yeah.
because that's where
yeah.
your battle will usually be in your adventure.
Yeah.
Like, if you know who you are and what you're called to
Yes.
and what your purpose is, then as you follow into that and you push into that,
Mhm.
that's where you're going to find battles.
Right, so that's
Does that make
part
sense?
of the adventure. So
Yeah.
that's part of the journey, like a Lord of the Rings. They're going off to fight this battle, but the journey happens.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
adventure
yeah.
happens along the way.
Yeah. Well, they're not separate, are they? It's kind of like
No.
you're living the adventure, so there are battles,
Yes.
and then the battles are part of the adventure.
Yeah, cool.
The Bible's there's a great verse in the Bible that says, "Consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds, because you know the testing of your faith will develop perseverance, and let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything."
That is an awesome life lesson.
And then, so if we want the joy, consider it pure joy, and we want the mature and complete.
Without the trials in the
we
middle.
don't want the trials or the persevering. We just want it, isn't it? Like we just want to do this big jump, and
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know anyone whose life works that way.
No, and I think this is a huge thing because men have a history of not speaking up.
Yeah.
there can be this element of feeling of, oh, I'm defective. I can't make my life work because there's always a challenge. There's always something thrown at me. And I know when I started hearing other people's stories, and I know you've had yours. We've spoken personally.
Yeah.
Like, but your purpose keeps you going through the hardest of times. There are times where you've wanted to stop. You've questioned. What are you doing? Where are you going? And boom, no. This is my purpose. This is what I'm called to. This is my battle. And you've overcome that and kept going.
And you just keep pressing through. Like I went through burnout. We've talked about that. You know. I went through burnout, man. Just not wanting to get up, not wanting to do anything. You know, just questioning everything.
Yeah.
But your identity and your call will redirect you.
Yes.
You know, and you come back to that and you go, okay, this is where I've got to go. This is who I am.
Yeah.
How do I move forward? And that's your prayer then. How do I move forward in this, God? What are you teaching me in this place, God? Like, you know, rather than saying I've messed up or it's my fault, I've got to fix it. It's like, this is where I am. That same thing. This is where I am.
Yeah.
How do I move forward, God? Would you give me the strength to move forward? You show me the way forward. What's the next thing?
Yeah. Even the Buddhists have a saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Oh, I've
So
never
when
heard
you
that.
have
That's
that curiosity. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as what you just said, where once you ask a question, you start being open and curious and going, how can I do this? What do I need? Who do I need to help me?
Yeah.
I need help. You open yourself up to saying, hey, I can't do this by myself. I need help in learning the next step.
Yeah. And then so it's a bit like, probably a bad example, mate, but it's a bit like that thing when you buy a car, all of a sudden you see thousands of them.
Yeah, that's
you know, on the road. It's that kind of thing. When you're looking, when your eyes are open,
yes,
you know, that's when you see.
Yeah,
and you can go, that person's been here all the time. Why have they never mentioned that before? Well, they probably have 1,000 times. You've just never been open and ready to listen to what they have to say.
Yeah, that's a great point. I found that myself over time. There are pennies that drop years later.
Yes,
and I started sending a message to these people, the ones that I still had contacts for. I would send them a message saying, hey, years ago, you said this to me. I wasn't ready to hear it. I resisted it, but it just made sense. Thank you so much. Just to know that the seed was planted, I want them to know that's germinated.
So good. Yeah.
It took me a while. Sometimes I'm a little slow.
We all are, mate. And I bet some of them, I wonder where they're going, did I even say that? I don't remember saying that.
I've had that. Yeah. I have no recollection. You said that to me.
That's right.
When something you had said to me, I forget what it was now, and you said, I have no recollection.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Right. It was the absolutes.
Oh, yes.
Not speaking in absolutes. That this is, or it's always, it's never.
Yeah.
And you had no recollection of ever saying that to me. And it was just a general conversation. Yeah. But it was a pivotal point for me to then go, well, maybe that's a good lesson to constantly keep your perspective open.
Yes. Yeah.
Have your belief on what works for you now. Yeah. But then be open to other information coming in from a different perspective. Be open to change as you mature. Yeah. Don't lock yourself in and put the blinkers on to only this. Yeah, only
that's
that.
Good. That's awesome.
And that made a huge difference to me and keeps that
awesome.
Curiosity and open-mindedness as well. Because that comes to mindful. Yeah. I think when you've got the blinkers on, you're not seeing. Yeah. Well, you don't hear because you're just full of 100% black or white. Yeah. There's no shades of grey, so nothing computes. Yeah. And then you wonder why your life's not working. Yeah. That's a huge thing.
Or pride too, Pete. Yeah. Like if you're so full of yourself, there's no room for anyone else to have any input into you. Yeah. Is there? Because you're so full of yourself.
Actually, that's one thing that fascinates me. It just popped into my head now. Have you seen that a lot in your congregations over the years where you see people, different places you've worked, you see people come in and they've got that cockiness, the arrogance, but over time you start to see them change and soften up a bit? Or
Usually from battles again, Pete, usually from things that are difficult or trials, because you're normally you face trials. Yeah. The same thing, like it's in it's when you face a difficulty.
Mm.
I heard one guy, I think it was Henry Blackaby, called it a crisis of belief. When you go through a crisis, or the way you think about something is not working, and you start to, then you go,
Yeah.
and they solidify their position. Some people, unfortunately, will just solidify and go, no, I am right. It's all about me again. It's all about I. It's not about people. It's not about other people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a...
So the kind of rather solidifies their own self-importance.
Yep.
Or they go, there's a lesson here, man. Like, what have I got to do? What's happening? You know? And you can help them and speak into that.
Yeah.
But if someone's full of themselves, there's no room for anyone to speak into them in a way that they can hear.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great thing. Now, just on that, before we move on, just the third part, the beauty to save.
Oh, yeah. That's
There's different ways this can be interpreted.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
You know, how do you see it?
I see it, if you take it at face value, beauty to rescue, then I would say, like saying your partner, then that you help, as a man, you help them to show their beauty and bring their beauty to the world.
So it's not saving the damsel in distress.
No.
It's like a saving their heart.
Yes.
So they can still express their full beauty and femininity.
So particularly like Pete, like again, how many, if you ask most women, what do you think of yourself? Or, do you think you're beautiful or attractive? Most would say no.
Yeah.
And so there's, how do you help your wife? How do you help her to bring her beauty to the world? Because she's got a beauty to unveil to the world. How do you help her to do that and not just hide it away?
Now, you've been married a very long time, right? And this is one thing that I'm really interested to hear from you, because you hear so many different stories of marriages that get boring, or they separate, or there's just, it goes downhill over time, because you do get used to people. Life can't always be exciting. How have you found that process, whether it's some of the struggles or the key points that you've been able to bring that to your wife and help her keep...
You probably should ask her, mate. That's a good question. I've been married over 30 years.
Yeah.
So my eldest daughter is almost 30.
Yeah.
We were married a couple of years and then had her. I think one of the things that happens, Pete, is, again, coming back to that identity, so much of it's related. Again, if you don't know who you are and your purpose, you get married, you have a partner, you have a wife, like you say, things start to get a bit boring or whatever, you look for adventure, don't you? So you look for it in pornography, perhaps, or you go and have an affair. And it's interesting, I've heard it said that most affairs don't happen for good sex.
No.
It's actually for the adventure of having the affair and not getting caught.
Yes. Yeah.
And I just, at first I went, oh, that's ridiculous. But you speak to people who have had affairs, or their marriages are split up and that. And you start, they wouldn't use those words, but you kind of go, everything got a bit boring, a bit stale, wanted something fresh, whatever other words they put around it.
Yeah.
And they went looking elsewhere. So how do you not do that? Man, I mean, you'll go through seasons where it is, like you're just running hard, and because you're doing a lot of other stuff and there's a heap of things going on, you don't necessarily invest so much in your own relationship. But you've got to come back to, well, for me, I come back to, no, this is who I am. And I made this commitment. 1992, January 11, 1992, I made the commitment.
That's beautiful.
So I'll be a man of my word.
Yeah.
Or I won't.
Yeah.
So that's a primary thing. And then once I've done that, you go, okay, if that's who I am and that's my commitment, how do I make this work? Same thing again. What's the next increment? What's the next little thing I need to do? We're not going to go from, just busy. not in love, not committed to one another, but how do you just go from, living life and just making things work, doing stuff.
Yeah.
How do you go to investing in what's the next little thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's increments again, man. It's not, people want that big, we're going to go on a cruise, we're going to do all this awesome stuff, we're going to move and sell a house, and we're going to just, what's the next little thing? Maybe it's just having one night.
Yes.
One night at home. Like maybe it's just, I'm just going to start having one night at home and we're not going to watch TV, we're just going to talk.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll be really tired because we stopped.
Yeah.
And we'll go to bed early, and that's okay. But we're connecting, like it's, again, we're looking for the big things, the sparklers, and you go, sometimes it's just stopping and just being.
Yes.
Being together.
That brings me to another concept you introduced me to, the significance of ordinary. Because I feel like that is a perfect example. Could you explain that further? Like, what's the significance of ordinary?
Yeah. The significance of ordinary. Nowadays, especially with social media, I think there's this drive that you have to be significant, and you'll be significant like when you got the 100,000 followers. You'll be significant when you're posting on social media all the time and you're portraying this lifestyle that makes you look like you are significant.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? But then I think there's significance in the ordinary. Like, what about the mum and dad who raise their kids and the dad who works 60 hours a week to put food on the table?
Yeah.
And to educate his kids, and now his kids are doing a bit better than he did as a kid, that's significant, mate.
Yes.
I don't care about 100,000 followers. Show me the guy who's doing that. Show me the mum who just works for her kids and they raise good kids.
Yeah, there's a lot of that out there, the unsung heroes.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And what about the man or the woman who invests in people in their community and they don't even know, like you were saying before, don't even know the impact they've had.
Yes, yeah.
There's just significance in the ordinary moments of life.
Yes, just those conversations, those connections. Do you feel like that's a big part of fostering long-term healthy relationships as well? Like you said, even if it's just that night in with your partner that you have with your wife where you just don't watch TV, it's just you and her.
Yeah.
Eyes talking, really connecting, just those little things that help revitalize that aspect of the relationship.
Yeah. I think it flows from like the macro level right up. The same thing, like, again, don't look for the massive big shifts. Just look for the ordinary little things.
Yeah.
The significance in the ordinary.
Yeah.
And pursue the significance in the ordinary.
Yeah.
Because the social media will kind of give you the idea, probably being a bit harsh, but they'll kind of give you the idea that anyone can be like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, everyone can do that,
Yeah.
But you don't know what their world's like behind. You see that 60-second video or the photos or whatever.
Yeah.
And you go, but you don't know what they're like. How many of them don't have good relationships? What have you got if you haven't got relationships, mate? Like, you can have 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
But man, if you haven't got someone who you have conversation with and will keep you honest, do you know what I mean? Like, your head's getting beat because you got all these followers. You need the person who goes, yeah, but let me tell you how ordinary you are as well. Like, do you know what I mean? Because they've got to bring you back to just normal, like to ordinary.
Which your partner will, because they know all of your flaws.
Yes. All your flaws, mate.
All the great stuff and all of the crappy stuff too that you probably don't even know you know.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't even know that you do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing, mate. So I do. The significance in the ordinary.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't, not shouldn't, we don't have to pursue significance in greatness. We can be great in the ordinary. We can be significant in the ordinary.
Yeah.
Those ordinary moments that we spend with someone.
Well, that comes back to that saying, no act of kindness is wasted.
That's right.
It's those little things that just make a difference to someone who is struggling.
Yeah.
That smile. You lock eyes, you smile, and that can just break their state.
Yeah.
and open them up to, oh wow, that was lovely.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
it's I tell people as well, when it comes to giving, because it's so important to give back.
Yeah.
Again, not massive, just
Yeah.
the ordinary things. Well, what's in your budget? All right. Can you give your time?
Yeah.
If it's financial, what's in your budget?
Yep.
Is it a pay it forward coffee?
Yeah.
Something like that. I know there are a couple of cafes that I go to frequently where I trust the staff.
Yeah.
And I'll do a pay it forward.
Yeah, that's awesome, mate.
And the rules are, don't do it when I'm here. Don't tell them who it came from.
Yes.
And be discerning on who you give it to.
Yeah.
If you know someone's struggling, if you see, hey, they look a bit down, don't just give it to someone who's having an amazing time.
Not the next dude in line.
Or your friend.
Yeah.
Be discerning.
Yeah.
Make a decision for yourself.
That's awesome.
And don't tell me about it or tell them it was me, because that's just
Yeah.
fuel for the ego
That's
to
right.
go, well, yes, I
Yeah.
did something important.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's just about
The
act of
anonymity,
giving.
mate, isn't it?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
anonymity in it
And
all.
them receiving
Yeah.
an act of kindness, them receiving a little bit of sunshine
Yeah.
in their day.
Yeah.
Those little ordinary things.
Yeah. So how did you come to that then, Pete? How did you come to a place where you went, that's important, I want to do that?
I was reading, I forget his name. The book, How to Get What You Want and Want What You Have. I think that was it.
Oh, what a great title.
Yeah. This guy's written other books as well. I can see his face.
Yeah,
I just can't think of his name.
Kind of like James Clear writing Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
I mean, awesome book. One of the best I've
Yes.
read for years.
Yeah.
Can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah. And this author goes through, I think it's one of the Johns. There are a few Johns that
Yeah.
are authors. It could be one of the Johns. And anyway,
Yeah,
it goes
awesome.
through the 10 love tanks.
Oh.
The 10 love tanks that come about at different stages of our lives that need to be filled.
Yeah.
And that we need to work on at certain times of our life. And one of them is the giving back
Yeah.
to society. And there was that, and learning the concept of the 10%.
Yeah.
The richest man in Babylon,
Yeah.
that 10% that you put away, you don't touch, but there's also a certain amount that you give,
Yes.
right? But do it within your means.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't go putting yourself out,
Yeah.
and don't go putting yourself on the street for it.
Yeah.
But what can you do that's in your means?
Yeah.
And I just thought, oh, that's great, because I am the kind of person that naturally goes, big.
Yeah.
This has to be massive.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be massive.
Yeah.
It just has to be genuine.
Yeah. And it can be massive to someone else, though, Pete.
Exactly.
Isn't it? Like you pay it forward with a coffee to that
Yes.
person who's struggling that day.
Yes.
That someone thought to pay a coffee that doesn't even know them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Yeah. Do you also see the accumulation of that even with your own kids, like the way you've wanted to parent your own kids, just those little ordinary things you do for them day to day or over the years? Have you seen that accumulation that they may not recognize, but you've seen the results of? Or even vice versa?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of an example of one. But yeah, you do. Like the time you invest in your kids is so significant.
Yeah.
Even, and it's in, like I say, it's in those little that you don't always recognise. Like, you know, the kids will say, "I remember when we did this, Dad." I go, "No, don't remember."
Yeah, but
He's
it's
like,
significant.
But to them, they remember this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and it can be funny things like things we did when we were on holidays. You know, like a walk. We went on a walk, or you know, just again, it's not something like, "Oh, remember that time we jumped out of an aeroplane, Dad?" Yeah, no. You know, it can just be normal things. Well, I have done
Yes.
that with one of my sons. But you know what I mean? Like it can be,
Yeah.
it's the little things.
Yeah.
I used to take them, one of the things we used to do is go motorbike riding, dirt bike riding on Saturdays.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's one of the things, like you did it all the time, but now two of my kids are still passionate about motorbikes.
Yes.
And they want to do it, they talk about doing it with their kids because of the significance of that bonding and doing stuff.
Yeah.
doing it together.
That also brings in one of the other concepts of male nature, isn't it? That coming in with the adventure in a different way.
Yeah.
It's not career adventure, but that's an adventure and the
Yeah.
danger.
Oh,
the
yeah.
need for men to have a sense of risk
Yes.
and an element of danger in
Yeah.
order to stay sharp and progress at life and still stay dangerous.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not get too much in the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a huge thing.
And it's the risk, isn't it? It's the risk and the danger without being dumb. Like, don't
Yes.
do dumb danger. But you gotta step outside your comfort zone.
Calculated risk.
Yeah, calculated. That's a
Yeah.
better way of saying it.
Yeah.
Dumb danger is not the best. Calculated risk is very cool. Yeah. No,
Well,
it
some
is.
things are dumb. I'm sure we all look back and go,
Yeah.
you have a memory pop up from years ago and you just
Yeah.
think, that was really dumb of me.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
see why. I did this with conversations. And I
Yeah.
think, I can see why I didn't get the result I wanted
Yeah.
back then. That was concept was good, delivery was horrific. That was a dumb decision.
Yeah. When people say, "What were you thinking?" I'll go, "Nothing." There was clearly no thinking going on. It was just dumb.
And that's okay to admit too.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
right.
important
Yeah.
to be able to laugh at
Yeah.
ourselves, but that element of danger. And this is something that I know you've done with your congregation as well, with mentoring youth. You take them out.
Yeah.
Teach them life skills, survival skills, and get out into nature.
Yeah.
What kind of changes have you seen or influences you've seen in the kids when you've done this? And could you explain how you go about it? Because you do it so beautifully.
Oh, thanks, Pete, for the encouragement.
You're welcome. It's
I'm
something
not-
that excites me, man. I just think it's great because we do live in a very suburban era.
Yeah.
So, yeah, please continue.
Yeah. So what? Not necessarily an outdoor thing, but let me tell you about one of the young women that we've invested in at our church.
Yeah.
This young woman was shy, even to the point of being reasonably broken.
Yeah.
Like really had a tough life up to this point. And she was at a place where it's to shrink away, like that, that beauty to rescue, that kind of like, I don't want anyone to see me, I don't want anyone to hear me,
Yeah.
I'll just kind of exist, and I'm happy existing. I just don't want any attention on me,
Yeah.
We've been investing in her for a few years, and after a few years, she'll public speak.
Oh, wow.
She'll, when I see the roles she does now,
Yes.
the times I see her, I'll go, do you remember, X number of years ago? And she goes, I know. But it's all those things where you just keep stretching them outside. They're just outside their comfort zone.
Incremental.
Yeah, incremental.
Yeah.
But then the confidence grows, and so the next step is a bigger increment. Still incremental, but it's a bit bigger. And then it's just awesome, man. Like, so you just see, now she's running departments
Oh, wow.
of stuff,
Really?
and you just go, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Man. There's the adventure. You talk about
Yes.
adventure for her, but adventure for us, because you go, we don't know where this will end up,
Yeah.
but we're so committed to growing people and helping people.
And that translates out into life as well.
Yeah.
This is what I love, because I remember last year when I did some speaking as part of your leadership program, going through what you do throughout the year. It's like, wow, this is just real life stuff. It's not just what some people would expect of just a church group thing.
Yeah.
This is developing you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You can take those skills into the workplace. You can take that into any industry.
Yeah.
And have you found as well, just going back to encouraging and supporting that beauty shining through, have you seen that in that young woman where her own personality's been able to come out?
Oh,
You've
yeah.
seen the beauty that was in there.
Yeah.
That she's giving
100%.
that
Like
she's
her
giving
eyes
out.
will light up now, and she'll crack jokes and she'll be funny now.
Nice.
All that
nice,
stuff.
yeah.
And it's that her inward life. She's letting it come out now. Like she's not hiding. She's letting herself be herself. And she's kind of, well, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And it's so good.
Yeah.
same with some of the young guys too. You know, the young guys we work with, same thing. You know.
Yeah, what have you seen with them, with the youth? What are some of the common things you see? Because young men, they do lack a lot of guidance.
Yeah.
They do lack a lot of things, and then, like we spoke about, look for it in the wrong ways.
Yeah.
What's the common kind of kid that you see, or types of kids that you see coming in, the young boys, and how do you then help steer them to a better path?
So some of the common things is they're uncertain, like not sure what to do, not sure which way to go.
Yeah.
Certainly, a lot of it too has to do with, again, in that Wild at Heart book. You know,
Yeah.
you've got what it takes. Like they just go, I don't know if I've got what it takes to do too much at all.
Yeah.
So instead of challenging yourself and rising, you just keep lowering the bar to where you are. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Where you see them now, they'll just keep, you help them to you give them a challenge that's achievable, but still a stretch, a challenge.
Yeah.
And they grow. And then they go, oh, I can do that. And I go, well, if you can do that, you could do this. Really? No, wait. And you go, just try it. What's the worst that happens?
Yeah.
And you just walk with them, and they just, but you know, they start at a place where they're uncertain.
Yes.
Not everyone, but some of the guys we worked with.
And have you found as well that that's affected their decision-making skills out in the street, or when they've fallen into the wrong groups of friends, like being able to make their own decisions on who they want to be and where?
Yeah. Because we help we try and help people to find who they are. Like, how are you made? Like, who are you? What's your personality? What do you like doing? What do you dislike doing?
Yeah.
What's your family of origin? Where's all that? You know, and you kind of help them to find who they are.
Yes. Yeah.
And then again, as they find, well, this is the kind of person I am, what I like to do. Well, let's help. How does that impact your work? And let's help you in that.
Yeah. Right. So it's not that, well, in this church, this is our template.
No, that's
how
right.
a person should be, or how a man should be. You just go, well, let's unpack who you are and what you bring to the table, what you've been given.
Yes.
Yeah. Your gifts to bring to the world and to your own life.
Yeah.
Because it's a huge thing.
Love
We're
people.
not meant to be ordinary, are we?
No. We love people, Pete. So we want to help people grow. We don't want to slot them into a role.
Yep.
So whatever, as we help that person grow, that's awesome, man. Like, that translates into their relationships, into their vocation. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, into everything. And you go, that's what you want. You want to help people grow.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
And that's the feed-on effect, isn't it? Like, that just bleeds out into everything they do in everyone's lives that they touch.
Yeah.
So even though you're here on the Sunshine Coast, and it's not a highly advertised church, but still you're developing these people over the years, and then every life that they touch, boom, just feeds out. That's like that significance of ordinary. Not the what you're doing is ordinary. I don't mean to say that.
In some ways it is though, Pete.
Awesome. It's those little things that you help them with over time, and just impact so many more people. Yeah. And I feel like that's a huge thing that I want men to understand is it's the little things. Yeah. Like you said, you don't have to be that person on social media with all the followers.
That's right.
What are you doing in your own community? What are you doing for the little things?
Yeah.
What are you doing for people day to day?
Yeah.
And strip the ego out of it.
Yeah.
And be a vessel of sunshine.
Yeah, I was going to say, Pete, it's like what you were saying, hey, like that pay it forward with a coffee. Like, what's the little anonymous things that you can do for people?
Yeah.
That you won't be recognised for. Yeah. You know, like, mow the lady's lawn 3 doors down. You know, like if her lawn's a bit long, just go and mow it for her. Like, go and do something ordinary. Like, just go and, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so look at our ageing population. How much stuff can we do for our ageing population?
Yeah. Picking things up.
Just little things.
If they drop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The amount of times people are grateful that you just stop, boom.
Yeah.
Pick something up, hand it to them. Oh, would you like a hand with that?
Yeah,
you see someone struggling with bags or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I don't... there is support for people with with whether it's the aging or the special needs populations.
Yeah.
There is support, but what are the other little things
Yeah.
when no one's watching?
But that's not connection, though, Pete.
No.
Do you know what I
No,
mean? Like,
it's
there's
not.
support to get a task
It's a
done.
service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what we hunger for, what our hearts are hungering for, is actually a connection. Isn't it? So, like you say, that just look them in the eye and smile and say, "Hey, man, how you doing today?
Yeah.
Can I help you with that? What a good day." You know, just find
Yeah.
something. The connection between two people on for
Yeah.
10 seconds, 30 seconds.
Yeah, to be acknowledged, to feel
Yeah.
important
Yeah.
to someone.
Yeah. You're doing a
Someone
great job, man.
recognises.
You know, that, like, just,
Yeah.
gee, you did that well. That's awesome.
Yes. That point and wave, if you're in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
business.
Yeah.
That's what I like about. I don't feel like this when you're in an area for a while. You've been working in a community for a while, and you just get to know people on various levels.
Yeah.
Whether it's the cafe where the people know your name and you get a bit of a talk and a chat with them, bit of history,
Yeah.
so you can see them, call out, give them a compliment. I love that about the community vibe, which I feel lacks a lot as well, because there've been so many types of division. Whether it's whether it's the type of diet that you follow, people
Yeah.
will not talk to you because of your eating preferences,
Yeah.
your workout preferences, your faith
Yeah.
preferences, whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's so many types of divide
Yeah.
that people will or won't talk to you on. It's
Yeah.
like, well, that's just making it worse.
Yeah.
Let's just bring down some of these barriers.
Yeah.
And like you said, see who this person
Yeah.
is. Like, you want to see someone comes into your church, you want to see who they are.
Yeah.
You want to see what's on the inside.
Yeah.
How does that express?
Yeah.
How can you develop that? Well, how can we develop with other people?
Yeah.
How can we develop our kids and mentor the youth
Yeah.
to be themselves?
Yeah.
Because this is something that I've seen a lot in the barbershop as well. Over time, parents taking ownership of their kids and their kids' opinions.
Yep.
And it's like, it's a haircut. If they want a haircut that looks a bit stupid, that's okay.
Yeah. It'll grow.
Yeah. It's their sense of identity that
Yeah.
they are trying to express.
Yes.
And it's one decision that they get when parents make so many because they have to anyway.
Yeah.
So why not? I don't think any of us have chosen haircuts or fashion that our parents like. Genuinely
That's-
went, my mum's going to love this shirt. I'm
Yeah.
wearing it. I'm buying this
Yeah.
one. Hey, Dad, I want the pants like yours. Who does that?
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
all been that kid.
Yeah.
And
100%.
I feel it's so important to try and encourage those personalities.
Yeah.
And acknowledge the stages of development. Because you would have seen this. You've got kids.
Yeah.
Just the common stages of development.
Yeah.
That don't ask more than that.
Yeah.
from them.
Yeah. That's right. And then again, it's helping people to make decisions in that stage or wherever they are, isn't it? So, like your kids, just help them make it. Look, just don't do something dumb like a haircut will grow back. You know, you will laugh at yourself at one point when you see how dumb that haircut was.
Yeah.
But it's it's just a haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great example.
It's a stage of asserting.
But you don't want them to
your
do something dumb.
No.
You know, that's your thing. Like, just how do you help them to make decisions?
Yeah.
I heard a great thing years ago, Pete, was they were talking about 2-year-olds. You know, there was a big thing about kids can choose everything, right? Kind of thing. You know, but it was like, let them choose. Like, give them 2 outfits to choose from to wear. Like, okay, today you know, which do you want to wear, that one or this one?
Yes. Yeah.
Give them choice, but don't go, just wear anything.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like, help them to. We're going to a wedding. You know, do you want to wear this one or do you want to wear this one? What would you like to wear?
Yeah. For me, it was which colour tie?
Oh, yes.
Which tie do you like?
None. I don't want to wear a
I
tie.
hated ties growing up. I still do.
Oh.
But for certain occasions, you needed a tie.
You need, yeah, that's right.
And so it was, which tie do you want? Do you want the bluish one? Do you want this
Yeah.
other colour one? I'll take the blue one.
Yeah.
With the paisley pattern.
Well, in your mind, you're going, I don't want a tie. I don't want any tie.
But I liked blue.
Yes.
So I'm like, all right, that's not a bad compromise. I got to
Yeah,
choose
that's it.
colour.
Though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got to choose, though, isn't it? Like, that's the important
Yeah.
thing. It wasn't,
Yeah.
you will do this. It's like,
And that's
you help them to make choices.
It's a huge thing as an adult as well.
Yeah.
I find a lot of men abdicate responsibility for their own decisions.
Yeah.
With ambiguity.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do here? Oh, I don't mind, whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's up to you. Oh, whatever the kids want, whatever. And it's palming it off.
Yeah.
And then later, perhaps in hindsight, come in and go, oh yeah, I knew that wasn't going to work.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I asked you.
Yeah. If you knew it wasn't going to work, that's your time to say.
Yeah, and it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
This was a huge thing. I know for my own learning and for a lot of men, learning that it's okay because that's where you progress.
Yeah.
It's okay, but you have to own your decision.
Yeah, that's right.
Even if you see it was wrong, well, at the time I made the decision
Yeah.
with this in mind to the best of my ability, and now I can see otherwise. Cool, let's adjust.
Yeah, that's right.
And that starts from a kid. If you keep getting told,
100%. Yeah.
hey, you're wrong, kid. You don't want that haircut.
Yeah.
That looks stupid. What did you do that for? You just get
Because I knew
criticised
you'd be
and
upset.
chastised.
That's why I did it.
Yeah, and it's like, well, if we keep doing that,
Yeah.
they're never going to make their own decisions.
That's
They're
right.
never going to be the strong, powerful, dangerous men. And I don't mean dangerous in a bad
No,
way.
in a good way.
I mean, yeah, a very positive way that can make decisions, that can create,
Yeah.
that can further, that can lead.
Yeah.
That's never going to happen if we squash them when
That
they're
will
young.
take the risk, like we were saying before, that will step into a calculated risk
Yes.
and go, it is risky and it can go either way, but this is
Yeah.
my decision. And own that, you know. Or the other side too, Pete, where kids aren't allowed to make decisions or aren't taught to make decisions or
Yes.
aren't allowed to have a choice.
Yeah.
And then they hit 18 and mum and dad essentially go, well, you're 18 now, you're an adult, you choose everything. And they go,
Yeah. But
I've never made any choices, so now how do I know how to choose anything?
yeah, and mum's still making the bed and doing the laundry. They can't even wash their own undies. How
Yeah,
are they meant
yeah.
to be an adult?
Yeah, they've got to go.
Decisions on-
Yeah, they've got to go to work and make decisions, but they
Yeah.
don't know how to work the washing machine.
Yeah. It's those little things. It's those ordinary things, isn't
Yeah.
it? The significance of the
Yeah.
ordinary. I know my mum was big on that. She made me learn to vacuum. She made me learn to do housework.
Yeah.
And she would stand there. I would do a bad job just because I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
She would stand there and go, no, do it properly. I can see, blah, 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 blah. This is how you do it. She would do a little bit and stand there and watch me until I did it properly. I
which is
do
awesome though. Yeah. But there's a whole lot of lessons in that, isn't it? And your own integrity and your own character. Then
Yes.
I will do a proper job.
Yes.
She's teaching you to do a proper job.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
That came through.
Yeah.
Do it properly the first time.
Yeah.
Don't half-ass it, and don't live to just get through. Just get by near enough is good enough.
Yeah.
Take
No.
pride
Do the
in what
best
you
you
do.
can. Yeah.
That's your integrity. That's what people will trust you on as
Yeah.
well, that I've come to learn.
Yeah.
People trust you by your consistency of integrity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if we're constantly going back on our word, we're not making decisions. We're not taking leadership of ourselves.
Yeah.
How is a partner going to be happy with us?
Yeah.
If they can't trust us to make a decision.
Yeah.
They can't trust us to stand up for ourselves, let
That's
alone
good, Pete.
your kids, let alone them. Or because I'm sure you would have seen this about how vulnerable a woman can be and feel when they're pregnant,
Yeah.
when they're heavily pregnant.
Yeah.
There's not far they can go. There's not much they can do
No.
without some assistance. So they can't trust you. What are the stress chemicals like in the baby?
Yeah.
Because it's coursing through the mum.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
coursing through the baby as well. Can they trust you? Is
Yeah.
that going to lead to a long-term happy family?
Yeah.
At least if you can make a decision and say, well, I messed that up. I was wrong. But I'm going to correct it.
Yeah.
And look for a way. Ask, like you said before.
Yeah.
What do I need to do for this next step?
Yeah. That's right.
All these little things come together, I feel, that we're discussed. Like there are those little points in there. So if you're watching or listening at home, run back through this. Have a think about what we've discussed and those little key points that have come up throughout the episode of what you can do, little steps day to day.
Yeah.
Who can you ask?
Yeah.
What kind of background do you come from? Who resonates with you because of that?
Yeah.
What kind of voice do you want to hear on the other side? And there are different people for different things
Yeah.
in life, different lessons. There are times when I've personally wanted your opinion
Yeah.
on things, and I've asked you because I value that and I know I'm going to get an honest opinion. You're going to make me think. You're going to give me a perspective and a frame that's going to help me make my own decisions.
Yeah. And it's funny how that works out too, Pete, because I've come to you for advice on things and to say, hey, Pete, what do I do with this? Because I know that that's your area.
Yeah.
And I know you won't lie to me and you won't sugarcoat it. You'll just go, Phil, it's like this. This is what it is. Yeah. Cool. Okay, I can do something with that.
It builds that trust and connection.
Yeah.
So what men do you have around you in your life that you can trust and connect with?
Yeah.
Who do you want to be more like? Yeah. Can you take influence and go, I really like how this person speaks.
Yeah.
I really like how that person takes charge of their environment.
Yeah.
Aspects of the person.
Yeah.
Just take those aspects in.
And then even ask them, Pete.
Yes.
Like,
that's the most valuable way.
Then, just being bold enough to go up and say, hey, Pete, I really like the way you can do this. How do you do that?
Yeah.
Or can you teach me? Or how did you get to that? Just think of some questions before you bundle up to them, but ask them some questions and find out from them. Because I've never met a man who wasn't happy to share the lessons he's learnt and give you tips to get better at something.
Yeah.
Never met anyone who doesn't want to do that.
Yeah. Come in genuine without ego.
Yeah.
And willingness to learn.
Yeah.
It's the same as athletes. Be inquisitive and coachable.
Yeah.
Ask questions, show initiative, be coachable.
Yeah. But that's life then, Pete, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You say those two again,
Absolutely.
That's life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I hope you got something from this. There are some real nuggets of gold in there. Yeah. Like I said, go back, listen to it again over time. And thank you, Phil, so much for coming on the show.
Absolute pleasure, mate.
For being the first guest as well. That really means a lot to me. And I really appreciate everything that you do for the community. I love what you do. I love what you do in my life as my friend. And it just means a lot. This is what we're looking for, guys, to find our community, find these people that we can connect with, that can help each other move forward in life. Yeah. So thank you, Phil.
Pleasure, Pete.
And Phil, if anyone wants to get in touch with you or follow what you were doing with the church, how can they follow or get in touch?
Yep, I'm on Facebook, not very often though. I've got too much real life stuff to do to be on social media. But you can come, we've got a great church in Nambour, Hope Community Church. Everyone's welcome to come to Hope Community Church, plug in and meet some good people, live a genuine and authentic life. That's what it is.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Phil.
Pleasure, Pete.
And we'll see you again next episode.
Awesome.
Thanks, mate.
Stay tuned in.
Just a friendly reminder that what we discussed today does not constitute personalized advice. If you're planning on making significant changes to your life, creating a pathway suited to your specific needs and goals is recommended. Also, if you have any questions or topics you would like me to cover on future episodes, please get in touch via social media or through the website. And thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.